Hello and welcome to Let's Be Real About It, where we are real about real life issues. We want to welcome everybody to the round table tonight where love is in the air. Can I hear some noise about love being in the
Yes,
air
Yes.
tonight?
yes. Woo-woo.
I
Yes,
love
yes,
love.
yes, yes. Well, I'm your host, Mildred Towns. Our disclaimer is that this is a no holds barred zone. Therefore, some of the contents of the show may be offensive to some, but that is not the intent of the show. But I do want to give honor to our sponsor, J&K Style Grill.
What up, y'all? It's your boy back on stage. We here at J&K Style and Grill with my main man.
J&K Style Grill, home of the original waffle burger, stuffed wings, and Philly steak egg roll.
The food was amazing, man. I'm talking about collard green stuffed chicken, mac and cheese stuffed chicken, waffle burger with the special sauce.
With the special sauce.
Come on, man. What are you doing if you ain't eating here? You're wasting your life.
Pull up.
J&K Style Grill, you can copy the style.
But never the best.
We got it.
We got
Hey.
it.
Anytime y'all are in the Beach area, please go by J&K Style Grill and try some of those wings, those egg rolls. I tell you what, you won't regret it. You will not regret it. So I want to go ahead and introduce my guest for tonight. I have Derek Ray, a veteran from the Army. So that's Derek. Juanita's not able to be with us tonight. She was scheduled to be on. She's not feeling well, so we just want to keep her in our prayers tonight. Estelle Coffee. So go ahead and wave at them. And we have Tanya Smalls. Hey, man. I want to thank you guys for being on the show. Are you ready for love or to enhance your relationship? Are
Yes,
y'all ready?
indeed.
Yes,
I want to bring on our special guest, Alisha Bennett. She's a love and relationship coach, love and relationship mechanic. I like that. So I want her to go ahead and introduce herself.
Hey everyone, I'm Alisha Bennett, the dating mechanic, relationship and dating coach, and I'm happy to be here today. I am ecstatic to talk about love and relationships.
I hear a siren. That means that it's going to be great tonight. It's going to
Gonna
be
be
great.
hot
The
tonight. It's
siren is
hot
already
right
Yeah.
sounding.
That's an alarm.
Yeah, the alarm is
We want
already
to alarm the
sounding.
people.
So she's going to motivate us and empower us singles tonight, to get back into the dating field. And those of us that are single and have someone in our life, she's going to motivate us to find out how we can enhance, that love and relationship tonight. But I do want my guest to introduce himself. We'll start with you, Estelle.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Estel Coffee. Uh, Looking for love, trying to enhance the love that I have, and well, I should say looking for more love, trying to enhance the
Yes.
love that I have, and I'm all ears tonight. I'm ready.
So, Tanya, I'm going to get you to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Tanya, and I am dating. I've been dating for 4 years now. I just, stepped back on the scene after a divorce and everything. So I got my foot out there trying it again.
All right. Derek.
Hi, yes, my name is Derek Rayton. I'm retired Air Force after 20 years. I've been divorced for like 19 years, and I'm dating, and I really want to learn more about love and dating and what women really want in a marriage or a relationship.
I hear that. You hear that, Alasha?
I do. I do. So
So,
Derek is single and Tanya's single. Estelle, are you single?
Estel, yes, I am
Estelle.
single.
Okay. All right. Thank you for correcting me.
It's okay.
look, girl, I probably said it wrong. Did I say it wrong?
Everybody wants to say Estelle. I know who you're talking to, so I respond.
So, Alasha, how did you get into being a love coach and a relationship coach?
Funny enough, divorce.
All right.
Funny
All
enough,
right.
divorce. I was struggling, really struggling in my new marriage. and I decided that I was going to do something about it. And I took all of the classes and read all the books and went to all the conferences and all that other stuff, but I was doing it alone. And so, one person can make a relationship good, two can make it great, right?
Amen.
So,
Amen.
so I learned from that I really didn't want any other single person or married person to go through the struggles that I was going through.
Mhm.
And so it becomes natural to me to be a helper to others, a hairdresser for 19 plus years. Can't get rid of the customers that I have. But that's just my passion. It's my passion.
So explain the difference between dating and relationship, because I think sometimes that get twisted. Just because they go out with somebody, they may think they in a relationship. I think a lot of time they get we're in a relationship and you want to cling to that person when the only thing it is really is a date. So it get confused. So explain the difference between dating and relationship.
Well, it sounds like what you're asking is between, casual dating and an actual we've committed to a relationship. So until somebody says, yes, I want to be with you, we are in a committed relationship, and they put stipulations around that committed relationship, such as you can't see other people, I can't see other people, or whatever the rules are of that of that relationship. Um, Dating, we want to make sure that we're very clear about what type of dating we're doing. Are we dating for long term? Are we dating for short term? Is it just that every Friday night thing? And do we just hang out when I have time? Like, what type of dating are we doing? Right. But when you're talking about dating, you definitely don't want to mix it up with this is a committed relationship until the two people have sat down and said, this is what we want. And, really thought about those parameters within the relationship. Hey, you just hanging out.
So what are some things that you may want to put out as a mechanic fixing things, a love relationship mechanic fixing things? What are some of the things that you want to put out into the atmosphere?
As far as singles, couples, like, give me a little more information.
Like, what would you say to singles um, that's not in a relationship? Uh, and maybe they want to go into a relationship. I just use myself for instance. I've been divorced almost 6 years. This year be 6 years, and I want to get back into the dating field, but
Okay.
don't know how to make that step to get back into the dating field. Now my son said go on the dating site, and I'm kind of fearful of that, and because he said. He said, Mom, you shouldn't be fearful. You have this man, that man, and that man. So why are you fearful? You know what I'm saying? Because, they were trying to kill me. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, I would definitely say, first and foremost, know the reason why you're dating.
mhm.
Like I said, are you dating for just fun? Are you dating because you want companionship every now and then? Are you dating for a long term relationship? Uh, what is the end goal for dating, right? When you figure that out, then you can be in a space to be very open and honest with someone when they're asking you what type of relationship you want to have, right? Which is a question everyone should be asking. A lot of us just kind of go with the flow. But just like you ask someone, are you single? You should be asking them, well, what type of relationship do you see between us? What type of relationship are you looking for? Right.
Mhm.
And as far as getting out there and being afraid of the dating sites, you can always put some barriers in place. If you're talking to somebody online, making sure that you're FaceTiming them or doing some type of uh, uh, video with that person, live video with that person, so that you don't get into a situation where you're being catfished, right? You don't know anything
Mhm.
about this person, you don't fell in love with this person, and they're nothing like who they said they are, right? So making sure you're doing that. I always like to tell people who are coming straight from offline, if you're going to meet somebody in person, make sure, of course, it's in the daytime, it's well lit, those types of things. But it only needs to be an hour date, 45 minutes to an hour if you're meeting somebody for the first time and you're really unsure, right? Take your own car, those types of safety precautions that, we did back in the day that for some reason we have lost sight of in this new
Mhm.
age of dating. Yes, write down a license plate. Yes, text it. Now we have new technology where if you have Google, everybody has Google, right? You can
Mhm.
actually send someone your location and they can and just by your phone and the movements of your phone they can see where you are. You can turn on the location, you can turn off the location, and that allows them to kind of track and see, okay, they're back home, they're safe, or or they've been stopped here for about too long, their date was supposed to be an hour. I can understand if they wanted to have dinner or prolong the date, that's fine. But you know you've been there for a little while, let me text them and see if they're okay. Oh, they're okay, good, right? So just being putting those precautions in place so that you're not being scammed, so that you're not opening your heart and this person is just a dud, right? Making sure that you're doing the FaceTime and then putting those other things in place. Just like you can get a Google phone number. You don't have to give out your home number or your regular number. Get
True.
a Google phone number.
A Google phone number.
Yes,
Yes. And it's free. You
On
don't
your
have to
phone?
pay for it.
I have it.
Yes.
You have it on your phone?
Yes, I do. I have
Oh,
it right here.
Yep.
Google Voice.
Yep.
huh. Okay.
And you can
Right
transfer
here.
that to your
Me too,
actual phone.
huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I learned something tonight.
Yeah.
I have learned something tonight.
But that Google, when you send somebody your location, that's gold. And people, daters are really not using it, but they should.
So you're suggesting that anytime that you're going on like the first, second, third date, because you really don't know this person, you're suggesting that you maybe get a Google number
Mhm.
and get a Google location.
Well, it's a feature on Google Maps. You go into Google Maps and you go in the settings. You start your ride wherever you're gonna go, and then you go into your location settings and you can send someone a text message, and they'll be able to pull up. Okay, where are you? Where are they? Have they made it home? Or did they make it to the restaurant? Did they? Those types of things. They can
Okay.
actually track you.
Yes, I know for me, like it's already on my iPhone where I can share my location, or I can share my location one time, or I can share it all the time. So
Right.
my daughters can track me wherever I am all the time.
Okay.
Great feature that not many are using, but it is very beneficial.
Yeah.
It's
So
something I'm
anybody,
familiar.
go ahead,
It's
Mom.
something I'm familiar with, but never used it.
Hmm. So y'all can hop in.
Okay.
Esther, you have anything?
I have a question.
Okay.
Sure.
So I was in a marriage for almost 21 years. And now that I guess I'm not in the dating period no more, since you explained it, I'm in a relationship now. How do you love again after being heartbroken from your spouse who have cheated on you? And that is one of the reasons why my marriage ended, because of the unfaithfulness. So how can I love again, build that trust again without always thinking in my mind that who I'm with is cheating on me?
That's a very good question because a lot of times, trauma and hurt and disappointment are, at the top of someone's radar. Anything they see that even resembles what they've, had to go through in the past, they're ready to walk out. They're ready to give up. They're ready to turn the corner,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So with any trauma or anything that we've experienced, we have to be very present with our partners. If we are feeling like there is something, let's take for instance, they had a phone call, it was late, and they went into the other room in order to take the call. That's very triggering for some people, right? Because that behavior, that they're remembering that behavior, right? It's familiar to them. So what they want to do is address the issue. You don't have to scream, you don't have to yell, you don't have to fight. You address the issue, plain and simple. Hey, I noticed that you took a call and you were very secretive about it, or so I felt as though, that way. Always be able to put your feelings on you, because your feelings, right? The no one is making you feel a way. You feel the way that you feel. And there's a reason why you feel the way that you feel, and it's definitely valid. But we do not want to blame others for our feelings. We want to take full control, that we understand the feeling that we have and that we're expressing that feeling to someone else. So, a good way to do that is, I feel like you're being secretive. I feel like you're hiding something from me, right? In order to get down to the situation. Because once you put it on yourself, that person is clear of blame. You're just trying to hear what they're saying, right? So now tell me what the real deal is. Tell me what's going on, so that we can then resolve the situation that's going on. And if it's that you have someone else, okay, I don't like that, I'm going to move on, or if it's that I'm just tripping, right? Well, then I can then look within myself and say, okay, I'm tripping. That wasn't the situation. And then I can remove that fear that I'm having.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And I got a question along those
Okay.
same lines. How do you deal with somebody who wants to hide things? Because I've dealt, I'm divorced now for 19 years, married 5 years, uh, um, dealing with people who want to hide this and hide that. I mean, not just not just as far as relationships, but little things like hiding gifts during Christmas time and things like that. Because if you hide that, then for a man like me, I'm thinking, what else are you hiding?
That's interesting. That you would put those two things together. Like, them hiding gifts means that they're hiding other things. It's just interesting that you would put those two things together. Um, if you feel like someone is hiding something from you, then that's a conversation, right? We always want the
Mhm.
person that we're with to be very authentic with us, and authentic with themselves. A lot of times we try to put things on us. It's our fault, just like cheating, for instance, right? They cheated, and they cheated because I didn't do this, or I wasn't this person, or whatever the case may be, and we put it on ourselves when that's that person's issue.
That's
A lot of times we want to take on our partner's issues instead of letting them sit with their issues and fix them. So if they are in a space where they're not being authentic with you, they're not being authentic with themselves. So it's not a you problem, it's a them problem that they need to address.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
I
like
have
that.
two questions.
Mm-hmm.
One, when you were speaking about having a conversation about the kind of relationship or the kind of dating that you're doing, what your end game is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I want to ask you, when you say that, are you speaking of, let's say I go out on a first date with someone, I don't even know if I like you yet. So I'm thinking that that's not really the time that I want to find out, what that person is looking for in a relationship. Would it be safe to say, um, or would it be safe to wait until, let's say I want to go on a second date and a third date, until I find out if I'm even interested in long-term dating or even entering into a relationship with that person?
Well, there's a difference between with that person and at all. So, where are you in your dating life? Are you looking for someone that you want to spend forever with? Are you looking for someone, right? We're not being specific about the someone. We're just saying, are you looking for someone where you just want to have a date every Friday night or for certain events? Or, what are you just casually dating? Are you dating just for fun? Are you dating because you are divorced and you're just trying to get your feet wet back in the dating game? So you have to decide first what type of dater you are. And then you can go on these dates to figure out, is this the person, someone that I would want to be in that category? I have a book called 7 Key Questions to Ask on a First Date. This book, you really should be asking these questions on the phone before you even get to the date. However, I do understand the age that we live in, and people want to, feel something. They want the chemistry. They want to be able to go on a date with somebody and see if there's something there, right? But in that book, I talk about knowing what type of data you are and asking early what type of data they are. So it doesn't mean that you want to be with that person. It just means that we're very clear about the road that I'm trying to go down. I'm looking for marriage, right? So I'm not going to date somebody who's just wanting to date for fun. We're not going down the same path.
Okay. So my second question would be, I ask a lot of questions. Let me preface it with saying that.
I love questions.
I ask a lot of questions, and sometimes I run into trouble. But what I've found is that I'm going to say men, and when I say men, I mean the ones that I'm familiar with or have spent time with. My asking question is often um, received as arguing.
Hmm.
I've it's not I've gotten that response on more than one occasion where I don't want to argue.
Hmm.
And I don't know how to really deal with that, because then it makes me want to argue, because I need you to pause and hear me. I need to be heard, and I need to be understood that I'm not trying to argue or pick a fight. I'm just trying to understand something. So, how can I deal with that without it becoming an argument?
Okay. So this question is very specific to the person that you are. So without actually hearing the conversation about how that's turning into that, when you've talked to the person or the people that have said this to you, what are they saying specifically? Like, I know they're saying, I don't want this to turn into an argument. So then my first question would be, does it turn into an argument?
Well, no, what it turns into is, well, we pretty much can't have a conversation if I can't understand. I can't talk to you if I don't understand the nature of, the conversation. And it starts with me asking you for some information.
Okay. So what kind of information are you asking for? Let's go
Okay, let me
there.
see. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Okay. It might be okay, well, I'm not quite sure why you didn't bring me along. I don't understand why you didn't bring me along. That's a simple question. I don't understand. And then rather than explaining to me why you didn't bring me along, it becomes, well, I don't want to argue about it. I don't
Okay.
want to argue about it, then leads to, well, we can't talk. Then the conversation can't go any further.
Mhm. So I believe in that. I'm sorry, Tanya. Did you have something?
Yeah, because I just wanted to say, are you asking a question? Because to me, it just sounds like you giving a statement, like you're not asking.
No, I'm asking a question. Why didn't you bring me along?
So what I would say to that is, your the way that you're approaching it, right? Um, the person may see that as def- defensive, right? the way that they're looking at it. So try switching it around. Remember before I said using the I feel statements, right? So what
Okay.
feeling are you actually feeling? When they don't bring you along, how are you feeling?
Left out.
Okay. So say that. Say, you know what? I really feel left out when you don't bring me along. Say that.
Okay.
And then see
Okay.
what their response is. And if they say, well, I don't mean to leave you out, or you could have came, or what, other situations, like, I next time I would like to go. I like to be invited. Like, reinforce that with positive feedback for that person. And then maybe you'll get to the bottom of why they don't want you to come along, right? There may be a reason behind that. Or there may not be a reason at all. It could have just been the fact that they didn't think you wanted to come, right? And that may be revealed as well. But I think that sometimes when we talk to people, we talk at them, and we don't talk for a conversation for resolution. We talk because we're feeling emotion at that time. And nothing's wrong with emotion. But we have to, if we're trying to get to a solution, we have to be able to check our emotions a little bit, and so that we can resolve the issue. So that's what I would say. Go with your feelings first, right?
Understood. So if I might say, being from the old school, because I'm from the old school, where the woman is to be pursued and not to be the pursuer. And so fast forward to now, we have permission in today's world to be the aggressor, to be the pursuer. So I guess my issue would be, I'm still in the old school way.
And that's so funny that you say that, because we have this misconception that women are out here chasing men. That's the misconception, that they're like, majority of the women are doing that, and that's not true. You do have women out here that are very aggressive, and they'll let you know what they want, very straightforward up front, right? But then we have women who are just putting themselves in the right position in order to be seen, and that's being seen as being aggressive. And it's not. If you're in a bar and you go over to a gentleman and you start talking to him, that's not being aggressive, right? Aggressive is force. Now, if you get on a dance floor with him and you start dancing all provocative, you don't know this guy and you're pushing all up on him, that's aggressive, right? But if you send a guy a drink over to the bar, that's not aggressive. That's saying, hey, I'm over here. Come look at me, and it's not a bad thing.
Thank you.
You said something that I thought was interesting. I saw it on one of your posts on Facebook. You said, I want to quote this like you said it, but it may not be right. You said, ladies, stop allowing men to take you out to dinner, something to that nature.
Oh, I think it was something to the effect of, stop leading these men on for free food. Something.
Yes, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Women get mad at me all the time because I tell it like it is. I've been called a pick me. I'm fine with that because I've been chosen. So, so I'm okay with that. Mission accomplished. But women have this idea in their heads that men are supposed to show them everything first, and women can hold back, and they can wait till they get married in order to show the fullness of who they are, right? And so men have to wine and dine and all of these other things and prove to women that they are providers, that they can be the man that she needs him to be. However, women don't have to show anything. We just have to be pretty, right? Mm-hmm. Look, Derek.
Look at he raised his hand.
Right? We just have to be pretty. So what I teach women is that they also have to learn what they bring to the table and be able to
That's
express that.
true.
And I know this what
Say
bring
that
to the
again.
table thing. I said women have to understand what they bring to the table, and they have to be able to express that, just like they want a man to express what he can bring to the table,
Yes.
right? And this whole bring to the table discussion, I know, like, it's going wild, it's going crazy. It's really that not that much of a big deal. If somebody asks you what you bring to the table, what are they really saying? They're saying, what are you bringing to the relationship? What qualities, what characteristics, what are you bringing to the table that's going to help us be successful? At least that is how they should be saying it, right? Because what is the table? People think the table, somebody bring, you can't bring the table. You are not the table. I know a lot of women are like, I'm the table. You're not the table. The relationship is the table.
Amen.
So when you're being asked, what do you bring to the table? What are you bringing to the relationship? What is it that you have that would make us be successful in this relationship? Oh, well, I'm a great communicator. I'm consistent. You know, all of those things that you think would make you a good mate. However, what I would really, really do when somebody asks you that question, well, what do you bring to the table? Your response should be, what is it that you're looking for? What type of mate? What are the qualities? What are the characteristics of the person that you're looking for? Right? Because I can spout off all types of things that I think would be worthy of being in a relationship.
Hmm.
And then you might go, I don't need any of those things. But that doesn't mean that I'm not the things that you need.
Right.
I just don't know what you need. Right? So
That's
it becomes
true.
very simple, but we make it a little difficult.
That is so true. Well, I have another question to help a listener out there. How do you know that you are over your old relationship and ready to date or ready to love again?
Hmm. That is a very good question. When you honestly, honestly, honestly can be in a place where you're not disgruntled about your relationship before. A lot of people don't take the time after their relationship to actually work on themselves, right? We just go into the next relationship thinking that if we get under someone, we can get over the last person, right?
Yes.
And then that doesn't work like that. We just carry along the baggage to the next relationship. So honestly, this is what I tell a lot of singles that, they're broken up, they're distraught, they're all of these things. Okay, I understand that you're upset. However, take a piece of paper. On one side, write the things that you enjoyed about the relationship. On the other side, write the things that you didn't enjoy about the relationship, right? That's allowing you to get in the space of healing. You can then stop. We always talk about, closure, right? And how people say, well, you don't need closure. No, you don't need them to get your closure,
Right.
but you still need closure because you need to be able to release all of the things from that old relationship so that you can go on to something new. And when we don't take the time to actually heal and get that closure, we're doing the next person a disservice, right? We're not respecting the other person by doing that. So take the time to actually release all of that. Whatever you have to do, get rid of their stuff if that's what you have to do, right? But if you're in a place of healing, then you're not worried about what that other person is doing.
Right.
And then you can move on.
I think another way for you to move on too, I know for me what I did was find me again. I
Mm-hmm.
found me again. I took myself out on dates.
Mm-hmm.
I took myself on trips. I made sure I prayed and read my Bible. Like I made sure I stayed active.
Mm.
So that's what I did to make sure that I was over my relationship and to find who I was. So when I got ready to be in another relationship, I knew that I would be completely healed
Mm.
and ready.
Yes.
And to
Self-care.
answer Calvin, yes, Calvin, that's my son. And
Mhm.
he said, hey, family. And yes,
Hey,
she
Calvin.
talking good, ain't she? You hear what Kim said? And another thing,
Hey,
Alicia,
Sam.
that you quoted was in that will go with what Tanya just was talking about. When you break up, you have to ask yourself, was the experience with you overall a positive one?
Mm.
That's with that boyfriend or the one that you broke up with, that husband, that boyfriend. Um, and you also said, let me get this right up here. Although the relationship didn't work out, are they better? Are they better for having had this experience with you? Is the person better
Yeah.
for having that experience with you? Did they learn something to be a better person
Most
because
definitely.
they knew you?
Correct.
So
Correct. Because
I thought that was
you shouldn't be sitting wreaking havoc in people's lives. Come on now.
That's the truth.
Don't come into somebody else's life just to mess up and to start trouble, and then you off, you go off and you leave them. I think that we should seek to um, make cause that person to have an experience with us that makes them better. And of course, we can't make them have a better experience,
Right.
but them dealing with us should have taught them something, whether it was kindness or whether it was, gentleness, whatever it is, they should be able to say, oh no, I was with that person and you know what, I messed it up, or it just didn't work out, but this is what I learned from that experience with them. Just as well as,
Mhm.
you should learn something from that experience. What about you? Did you learn that you can now take away into the next relationship?
Yes, that is so true because
mhm.
I think when you're going through things, you don't always think about the positive and the good times that you had with that person. You only want to focus on the negative, but you also have to realize the good times that you had, the laughs, everything that you celebrated, even having a family and enjoying your home and all of that. So you can't take away from what was good in their relationship and only focus on the negative because the negative is what's hurting. You have to be able to, look at both of them and distinguish them and also realize, well, yeah, I could say I had a great marriage up until uh, a year or two ago. But other than that, it's nothing I can say bad about my ex-husband, although he did cheat and stuff. We still had great times. We
Right.
we made a beautiful family, all of that. So I don't take away the positive things that we had
Mhm.
because of the negative that happened.
And the wonderful thing about that is realizing that um, what are my boundaries? What am I willing to accept? And it's okay that I'm not willing to accept certain things. So when we're talking about closure and we're saying, okay, these were the good things, but these were the things that I did not like. These are the reasons why we're not together. And guess what? It's okay because I love me enough to say these are not the things that I will accept. And so I'm good with the decision that I've made, or I'm good with the situation that, we're not together anymore because those are the things that I did not want. A lot of times singles have an issue with rejection, right? And they're like, oh, that I don't want to go out there because I don't want to get rejected, and all of those things. Rejection is the most beautiful thing in the world. And I say that because you have just found out what you don't like or who doesn't want to be involved with you. Why would you want to be involved with somebody that doesn't want to
That
be
does.
involved with you?
Right.
So rejection is great. Please tell me up front that we are not going to make it. Please tell me up front that you're not attracted to me, or whatever the case may be, so that I can go where I am appreciated, right?
But you see it. You see, you see that a lot where women be rejected and they still want to be with that person. And I even heard people say, well, if you want to do your thing, I can do my thing and we can still come together and do something if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But then what are you giving up for yourself? What kind of um, commitment are you making to yourself? Where's your self love?
Hmm.
Where's that at?
And that's a worth issue, right?
Yes.
Them feeling like they're not worthy enough to get the thing that they truly want, which is somebody who's going to be with them and adore them and love them, cherish them, right? They don't feel like they can get that. And so they're taking what they can get.
I had a conversation actually with my daughter a month or so ago, similar to this. And I was talking to her about enduring a lot in a relationship. And a part of that I explained to her was fear of loss.
Mm-hmm.
I endured a lot. I compromised a lot because I was afraid of losing that relationship and not knowing if I was going to end up alone
Mhm.
or if Mr. Right was going to come along. And so it caused me to endure a lot in a relationship, which was not the worst, but it wasn't fulfilling
Mm-hmm.
for for me. And so that was my reason. Thank God I'm not there anymore in the fear of loss stage. I'm okay. I'm okay, to lose is gain. It's kind of my theory right now. So but uh could you talk about that a little bit? How does one get past that? Because what I seem to be hearing you saying is that it really all comes down to the me. Whatever else comes along, it really comes down to the me when it comes to dealing with, handling, accepting, remaining in whatever the relationship is. It seems to
Mm-hmm.
be that's what you're saying.
Yeah, you have to really be in a place of, like you said, and I love how you said it. Um, it's okay to lose, because losing is gaining, right?
Yes.
You may be losing in one area, but you're also gaining as well at the same time. So that is a beautiful sentiment. Um, you have to figure out within yourself what you will allow. What will I allow? What will I accept? What are my boundaries? Right? What are those things that at the end of the day I can lay my head down knowing that I was good to me? I
Mm.
was authentic in who I am, and um I'm not playing down what it is that I want and the experiences that I want to have.
Mm.
It's all about learning how to love myself enough that I'm being truthful with the things that I will accept, with the things that I need, with the things that I want within a relationship.
And that means setting boundaries, like knowing your worth, your value.
Mhm.
Mm.
I got a question. How do you feel about a woman or a man? Because I know everything works hand in hand. But how do you feel about a woman or a man who says, "Hey, I want a godly man, I want a godly woman," but then once you start getting a chance to know this person and everything, they don't want to talk about God a lot. Like you have passion for talking about God. How do you deal with a situation like that?
A lot of times when singles say, so if I'm coaching a single and we're trying to figure out what is it that who they want to have in their life and what they're expecting, I'll have a lot of people who will say, oh, I want a godly man. Oh, I want a godly woman, right? And then we have to
Mm.
get down to, okay, what does that look like? What does that look like for you? If you say, um, I need somebody to go to Bible study on Wednesday and I need them to be in church every Sunday. I need them to pray with me daily. I need them to, pray with me nightly. Like whatever it is in your mind that makes them a godly person, you need to be able to express that to that person plainly. This is the type of person that I'm looking for. I want a godly woman, and that what that means to me is X, Y, and Z, so that they have full knowledge of your expectations. See, a lot of times we say in the relationships, oh, there shouldn't be any expectations, and there's too many expectations and all that. Well, you're supposed to have expectations,
Amen.
right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
You can have expectations as long as you're expressing what those expectations are, and you're not just thinking that someone should know, right? You should just
Right.
know what that means. Like, no, I don't know what that means, because the way I grew up, this is what godly looked like. We didn't
Yes.
have to go to church on Sunday. We went to Bible study every couple Wednesdays, but it was all right. We went to church on Easter and we went to church on Christmas, right? That made us godly. We watched the televangelist on the TV. That made us godly, right? So what does that translate into? And that's for whatever it is that you're asking of someone. If you say you want a traditional husband or you want a traditional wife, okay, what does that actually look like? Do you want me to stay home and rear the kids? Are you going to take care of the finances? Does that mean, like, spell it all out? And a lot of times we don't do that. We miss all of those steps. And then years later, we're complaining about how this person is not
Mhm.
doing the things that we would like them to do.
So, Tanya and Esther were talking about 1 month to a bad relationship. So, why is it important? And a lot of people don't do this. I didn't do it after my breakup with my husband. Why is it important to seek therapy after a bad breakup?
Yes.
When we don't go out and do that, we don't go out and sit down and maybe talk to a psychiatrist and say, "Look, this my heart hurt me so bad. I was disrespected," and just empty it out and just pour it out. We don't do that. So why is it so important after a bad breakup that we seek therapy?
Especially when there's been any type of abuse, whether it was domestic abuse or verbal or manipulation. We should really seek to heal. Of course, there's there's this stigma about therapy and mental health and those types of things, but we really do have to get to a place where we love us. And when
Mhm.
you love yourself, you're willing to get the help that's going to help you get to the next place that you need to be in your life,
Mhm.
right? If you need to dissect those things in order to move on, then that's what you need to do, right? So taking the stigma away of, oh, you're going to a mental health specialist or you're going to a psychiatrist or a therapy, ew, right? Like, we have to get out of that stigma. We have to be able to get to a place where we're applauding people for taking care of their mental health, because we're losing too many people.
Mhm.
We're losing too many people because they're afraid that we're going to view them in a certain way. So, yes, it is important that you take care of your mental health. It's important for you, but it's also important for the next relationship. Remember, we want to leave people better than we met them. And in order to do that, we can't spill over our foolishness into their lives when they didn't ask for that.
Right.
Mhm.
Black
You
folks
said
don't
black
seek
people don't seek
therapy.
therapy.
It's taboo.
I did. I did. I mean, like, I didn't have, like, my ex-husband wasn't abusive mentally or physically. I just had something that's called separation anxiety because we had been together for so long, ever since early 20s.
Yeah.
So separation anxiety was my issue, and that's
Mhm.
the reason why I had to seek therapy.
Mhm. And it could be cheating. It could be there's all types of traumas that we don't deal with when we're inside of the relationship. And like I said, remember making that list of things you liked and things you didn't like, right? When you take a look at that list of the things that you didn't like and really understanding, okay, I didn't like this, but where is this coming from? Where did it start? Did it start within that relationship, or did I already come to the relationship with that from somewhere else, right? It could even be from childhood,
Mhm.
right? Well, my daddy did this, and well, my mama did this, or this happened to me when I was, a teenager, and I've never forgotten that. And so you brought that into the relationship, right? We can't help to bring our experiences with us. Being able to be present and know that we're having that experience and be able to maneuver through it while it's happening, that's another thing, right?
I'd like to
Well,
ask your
okay.
position. I would like to ask your position on something.
Okay.
And this is a conversation that I heard, and it also applies to me. What is your position on uh, keeping relationships or keeping friendships or contact with people that you've been in past relationships with? Because all relationships don't end badly.
Mhm.
Sometimes, friendships actually can remain intact after the relationship is over. What is your position on that?
Well, it would depend on the partner and how they feel about it, right? So, are you creating a boundary where your now partner does not feel left out? They don't feel abandoned. They don't feel any of those things when it comes to that other person, right? So, are we putting into place and having are we having those conversations with our now partner that allows them to be confident about the boundaries that we have set up regarding that other person? So, for instance, you're in a new relationship. The old relationship just ended, right? It's not it wasn't terrible. You just didn't get along, whatever the fact may be, right? But that person is calling you at 11 o'clock at night. There's no boundary there,
Mm-hmm.
right? That person is still coming over to your house unannounced. There's no boundary there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, you are running to help that person before you help the new person, right? That's in your life. There's no boundary there, right? So there has to be some boundaries put into place. Although you're friends, you're still friends, you've known each other for this long, whatever the case, you have to be able to put your new partner first. And they have to feel like they're first in your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But to piggyback off of that, what if, like, say for example, for me, I'm retired military, 20 years of service. I have a lot of troops that call me, male and female. How do you deal with a situation like you got a lot of males and females calling you, but the person who you're dating doesn't understand the relationship because they're not military.
Okay. Once again, that's boundaries. So you could have people from your old job that call. You can have people like it's being able to set a precedent for how you want other people to view your relationship.
Mhm.
How do you want them to respect your relationship? You have to put those boundaries into place. And you have to be able to say, no, I'm not going to answer the phone. I'm going to let that go to voicemail. I'm not going to interrupt the time with my partner to answer this call, right?
Amen.
Um, that's more on you than the other people, right? Because you are the one that have to tell them, I'm in a relationship right now. I know that we usually get up on the weekends, but I'm actually in a relationship right now and I'm spending a lot of time with my new partner. So I'll call you, right? I'll hang
Mhm.
out with you every
Mhm.
once in a while, but right now my attention is here, right? And if they're your real friends, they should be able to accept that.
Alicia, in the time that we have left,
Yes.
um, I want you to talk about your book, Dear Future Spouse, for those of us who's looking for that future marriage. Well, me myself, I don't want to be single till I die and go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? I want true love in my life. So I want you to talk about that real quick, and tell the singles, me myself, how you have a podcast that you're doing this month.
Mhm.
Uh, Looking to meet and mingle.
Yes, singles who are looking to meet and mingle.
Yep, how they
Um,
can be a part of that,
yeah.
and talk about the 7 steps to safe date. I think you hit on that. You already hit on that, but just briefly again, so we'll know. Okay, I'm going on a date. I need to be safe. So
Okay,
that's pretty.
absolutely. So, Dear Future Spouse is my baby, right? It's my first book. And that book is a 30-day journal to love. And it's actually taking you 30 days of understanding that you are giving up the selfish part of yourself and opening up and being authentic to the person that you're trying to meet, right? Understanding, really, really understanding that this is a partnership and I'm going into a relationship as a partnership. I'm a single person, but I definitely want to be a couple, right?
Mhm.
So it takes you through that 30 day. It gives you prompts every day so that you can write about the day that you want to have with your spouse, and the things that you're going to give up for your spouse, right? In order to take that selfish part away from us, that's ingrained in us, right? From little babies, we yelled and we whined and we got everything that we wanted, and we still do that in adulthood. So so being able to take that, try to lessen that self-love, but also being able to open up, and letting other people in. The 7 key questions to ask on a first date is my second book, and that really details what you should be asking someone on a first date. One of the questions is, "Are you single?" It's so many people that don't even ask that question. It's unbelievable how you get caught up. You think that would be the simplest thing. Like, somebody comes up to you, they're asking for your number, you would think they're single, right?
You would think.
And then there's an assumption there until you get 3 months down the road, and then you find out they have a girlfriend, they live with somebody, they got a wife, whatever this, case may be. And if we simply just ask the question, we wouldn't be in so much of a pickle, right? um I do have a special podcast that I'm doing for the month of February. I am getting singles together, so that they can find love. And so I'm doing single interviews, with singles, and I'm just having an interview. We're just having a conversation about what it is that they would like in a mate. It's quite interesting. The conversations have been quite interesting. So if anybody wants to come on that show, be sure to message me, or you can go to thedatingmechanic@gmail.com, and you can get on that show.
All right, all right. Well,
Like, get on that show. Do you mean like just watch?
no, actually, get
No.
on.
No, it's pre-recorded. So, I take out all the bloopers and all of those kind of things, kind of dress it up and make you look good. But we highlight the things that you want in a mate. And like I said, it's very interesting. You find out some things about people that, perhaps you wouldn't if you just inbox them.
So I'm not familiar with podcasts. Can you just go back and watch what you've already done?
Oh, yes. Yep. It's recorded.
So what is that site again?
If you're on Facebook and
Say
you
what?
if you're on Facebook, you can go to the Dating Mechanic and you can see the videos there. And yeah, you can go to my YouTube as well and watch those videos. And like I said, it's very interesting how just having a conversation with a single, they kind of loosen up and you get to know some things about them.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
send
come on
some
that,
people
girl.
your way.
You hear me,
Thank you. I
Alisha?
would appreciate that.
I'll definitely
I'm
be
coming
checking
on
it out.
there.
Okay.
I'm gonna know that. All right. So I just want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to grace us with your presence. Tell everybody how they can get in touch with you and how they can order your books.
Absolutely. The Dating Mechanic on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And you can go to Amazon.com and you can get Dear Future Spouse, the 7 key questions to ask on a first date, and 35 date tips. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed my time with you all.
Oh, girl, it's been a blessing, a true
Okay.
blessing. I also
Thanks a
want
lot.
to thank Derek and Esther and Tanya for taking your time out to grace us with your presence, to ask your questions, your concerns, your comments, the laughter tonight. I just have enjoyed the show really, 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 truly tonight. And also, I'd just like to put out here in the atmosphere, if this show has been a blessing to you, please consider sending a love offering to $ Mildred Towns. I thank you for watching the show nationally and internationally. And I just want to say happy Valentine's Day to everyone. To my singles, take yourself out on a date and enjoy yourself. Love on you for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yes. Until next week, may the love, peace, and joy of the Lord be your strength. I'm Mildred Towns. Thank you for watching.
What up, y'all? It's your boy back on stage. We here at J&K Style and Grill with my main man.
J&K Style Grill, home of the original waffle burger, stuffed wings, and Philly steak egg rolls.
The food was amazing, man. I'm talking about collard green stuffed chicken, mac and cheese stuffed chicken, waffle burger with the special sauce.
With the special sauce.
Come on, man. What are you doing if you ain't eating here? You're wasting your life.
Pull up.
J&K Style Grill, you can copy the style.
But never the best.
We got it.
We got it.